Shasta. Today I'll be reviewing one of my favorites. It's a very underplayed kind of a deck. It's called the Cook's Tarot and it's by Judith Mackay Stirt. She's written and done the illustrations of this beautiful deck. Like I said, it's somehow gone very unnoticed. I love the imagery. It attracted me for sure. But I don't know how many people are aware of this deck, and I thought I should talk about it and let the word out. And and it's fair for people to see what it really looks like before you actually purchase a deck. All right. So this is the Cook's Tarot, and it has a beautiful box, so it's quite sturdy. I have used it a couple of times, I'll be honest, not so much, but I think I should work with it a little more. It's just kind of been underplayed. I somehow feel it's not got its share of, its moment of truth or its recognition that it really deserves. All right, so let's just take a look. So it's got this beautiful box which talks about the author here. All right, this is Judith Mackay Stirt, and it talks to us about where she's from, that she was raised and born in Jamaica, and how she loves bright colors and spicy food, and she really kind of respects cooks and households who are the unsung heroes, she feels. Probably she's seen a lot of that in her childhood, so it comes from there. And she may have left Jamaica, she says, but it has never left her, as it seems to gravitate towards small islands. She's an island girl. She currently lives in Gabriola, a small island off the coast of Vancouver in Canada. All right, so that's a little bit about her. So it's her love for food, and I think her mom and so many other household cooks kind of inspired her to do this. So it comes from there. It's a very interesting deck. I love the illustrations, the colors. All right, so this is the black and white book. With all the keywords. Let's take a look at what it does have for us. It's been done by Schiffer Publishing, so obviously the quality of the box is brilliant. It's got that magnetic, it's magnetic, so there is no way it kind of opens up and spills open. Let's take a look at the book. All right. She opens the book with quick word from Lin Yutang. It says, "Our lives are not in the laps of the gods, but in the laps of our cooks." All right. It's dedicated to Nancy Bowes, my sister, my best friend. It says, "The original business partner. This book would not exist without your emotional support and technical expertise. I cannot thank you enough." All right. This is the table of contents. So she's done a little bit of acknowledgements here. She's thanked her family and all those people who inspired her to do the book and the deck. It talks about the major and the minor arcanas, basically the acknowledgements, the contents, the preface of the deck. She has given a slight introduction and then of course explained the different arcanas, the major and the minors. And of course, I think she ends it with a few tarot spreads, which she advises. All right, so this is the preface, where the concept came into being, the introduction, and what made her begin her journey to make this tarot deck, create this tarot deck. Then the different tarot spreads, the card of the day, the 3-card spread, the 5-card spread, the usual black and white book. She talks about the major arcana, about the 22 arcanas, and she talks about not just their description, but she talks about the key elements in terms of the ballet slippers, the dancing clothes, the spilled sugar, and the dog. I need to understand a little bit of this. I being a Rider-Waite addict, I just go by what the Fool really emphasizes, but it's interesting to read about her version of why she puts it under that category, right? And how she explains it under the zodiac affinity Uranus, she says. So the Fool, for example, it says, "Dancing with Joyce, abandoned, a young woman twirls around in her kitchen. She's wearing dancing slippers and skirt and balloons out in the series of widening circles. She grabs a wooden spoon in one hand and a bag of sugar in the other, and she impulsively decides to do some baking. So impulsive behavior like the fool always depicts. So that's the catch. But again, if you notice, the environment is all around kitchen, cooking, baking, ingredients. So it's nice. Here the ballet slippers are just for fun. The spilled sugar is the alchemical use of raw and unrefined sugar. So basically talking about sweetness of substance, which should be with caution. Okay, so I think it's been beautifully done. And of course the card meaning and a black and white picture of the deck. I'm sure the decks are not black and white, but this is a black and white book. So she goes on to explain the rest. The magician, the high priestess. So all come with their key elements. With zodiac, for example, the empress belongs to the Venus, the card meaning, and the kitchen wisdom. So it's all about the major and the minor arcanas. It's got 159 pages. It also has a brief conclusion where she's thanking everyone. So it's an interesting book, and I think it kind of sums up the entire deck. All right, so this is a good book to have, and it's a pretty thick book, and again, great quality shipper. So that's about the book. Let's keep it aside now. Let's open this magnetic box. All right, so the cards have clearly been divided into two sections. I'll pull them all out. I'm sure they're shuffled, guys, so don't expect them to be in an order. Let me just pull this out. I find these a little painful. I'm not a fan of what the box looks like inside. I don't like this. I find this very flimsy, and I find this idea of separating the decks extremely annoying. So I think publication houses should do away with this partition. What is this? All right, okay, let's take, oh, they look like nice bright cards, don't they? All right, I'm putting this aside now. These are large cards, so they are like huge. Okay, they're definitely bigger than your standard deck. I would call them large cards. All right, how big? I have small hands, but I get a grip. You get a comfortable grip. It's a thick deck, obviously with 78 cards. I think it's fair enough, and they're thick cards. The quality is okay. I've never been a fan of the Schiffer card quality. This is not a very great GSM, as you can see. They're bendy, elasticity is great, but I don't know how durable these are. These have a gloss finish. You can see the backs are beautiful parrot green, so I like that little bit of a sheen on them. They're glossy, they're not matted. And these are like little paintings and sketches. The artwork is very sketchy, as if someone has just kind of filled it up with oil colors. Yeah, can you see that? That's the King of Wands. All right. Calling the shots, and he has people listening to him. He kind of is probably the owner of the place. He gives out the orders. He's in a position of authority. Yeah, so that's what you can catch the key elements from. And of course, if you are a tarot reader, you know your cards well, then this should be easy to use. But I think even for someone who's just starting out at tarot, I think this is a very interesting deck to start with. Again, a glossy sheen to it, very mirrory. Look at that. I don't know if the lights are able to it. Can you see that? Yeah, but it's not distracting. It's very nice. Yeah. Very bendy, but look, even if I bend them, they don't really go out of shape. Okay, let me try, but they're thin. I don't like the way they look here. I like cards to have that one clean look about them. This doesn't have that. They could have done something with it, you know. I mean, I'm not a fan of golden edging, but I think it would look very nice if there was edging to it, because these decks, you know, with this kind of edging, when you shuffle them too much, you know, there will be damage and wear and tear. I definitely see that. Okay, it's not very difficult to shuffle these decks. Okay, this is how I shuffle my cards. Side shuffle them. But if I'm looking at different ways of shuffling, let's check that out. So if I'm doing this, yeah, pretty easy. This is pretty easy too, but like I don't know the durability, right? Because the more we shuffle, we will tend to have dog ears perhaps, or definitely damage the deck. I wish they would just improve on the thickness of the deck. You know, it's got a very cardboardy kind of a texture to it. Anyway, let's just take a look at the cards, all right? This is the Fool. I don't know if you're able to see these very well. She's in her ballet dress, her dancing shoes, and she's all over the place with a spoon. And she's whirling away in her kitchen, spilling things out of control. All right, but I like the colors, right? Very vibrant colors. The 10 of Wands, tired, exhausted, weighed down. Yeah. The Wheel of Fortune, one of my favorites in the major arcanas. It's a little too much of color and a lot happening on the deck, but again, like if you are comfortable with the concept of the Rider-Waite system, this should be a breeze. Yeah. The Ace of Swords, again very interesting. It's all in the kitchen with all ingredients, knives and chopping boards. The Death card, chopping of a chicken. Okay. The Lovers. Again, the concept is very intact from the Rider-Waite, but of course the imagery is very pertinent with the environment. They're both seated on a table of food, they're being served, someone's watching over them. Yeah. The Hermit. The Knight of Wands. The High Priestess. The Judgment. I'm sorry guys, this is not in order. I should have arranged them in order, but like I said, I've already used this deck. I didn't really think of it like that. The Five of Cups, disappointment, sorrow. The Nine of Pentacles. The Ten of Cups. The Happily Ever After card. Oh, I like this. Can you see this, guys? This is like literally, you know, parents watching over their little baby and the older folks looking upon them. It's like a complete unit, isn't it? The father, mother, the child, and the grandparents. The Happily Ever After card. Okay. The Justice. Okay, she's standing on a measuring board, a weighing scale. Okay. The Seven of Wands. The Six of Swords. The Journey. Moving on. The Ten of Pentacles. Heartbreak. The Three of Swords. The Page of Wands. The World. Very interesting, isn't it? It's like a map behind them. The Eight of Pentacles, at work, needing and Beautiful. Rolling out that dough and making all that bread. 3 of Wands. Four of Cups. See, the symbolism of the Rider-Waite is very intact, so one can't really go wrong at all reading these, and I think it's a lovely deck for both amateur readers and even pros. Yeah, it's interesting. The Hangman, the Four of Pentacles, putting things away, saving things, being careful, not being overindulgent. The Moon, the Page of Swords, the Nine of Swords, the Six of Wands, Victory, the Devil, the Page of Pentacles, the Tower, a mess, everything falling apart in the kitchen. The Two of Wands, inspired to take that plunge. Let me just pick these up. The Eight of Wands, sorry, the King, the Page of Cups, the Strength, I love the colors, very animated, right? The Sun, the favorite card for everyone, the happiest card in the deck. The Hierophant, learning, teaching, inspiring. The Queen of Swords, the Ace of Wands, the Magician, the Two of Pentacles, the Empress, the Knight of Cups, the King of Pentacles, the Eight of Wands, the Five of Wands, Strife, the Four of Wands, the Ace of Cups, Six of Pentacles, the Chariot, movement, pushing a cart, the Nine of Cups, the Ten of Swords, the Seven of Cups, choices, the King of Cups, the Seven of Swords, the Nine of Wands, the Eight of Swords, feeling the feeling of being trapped. You know, she sees herself as someone who's completely caught in something like a cage. The Queen of Cups, the Emperor, the Ace of Pentacles, the Appetizer, yeah, the Temperance, the Two of Swords, the Knight of Swords, the Queen of Pentacles, the Star, the Eight of Cups, walking away, the Two of Cups, the Three of Cups, celebration, the Queen of Wands, the Four of Swords, the Five of Pentacles, wanting something and not being able to afford it, getting pulled away, the Knight of Pentacles, the Five of Swords, the King of Swords, the Seven of Pentacles, Six of Cups, memories, childhood memories, nostalgia. Again, one of my favorite cards in the deck. Three of Pentacles, skill, work, learning, guiding, learning something new, experimenting, yeah. So those are the cards in the Cook's Tarot. I think Judith Mackay Stirt is great, but I think the deck could have been a little better, the quality, but I love the artwork. I love the meaning behind the cards. So this is a great deck, guys. I just want to make this very clear that nobody kind of pays me, or no publication kind of tells me what to kind of market, or this is not a marketing video. This is just my personal views on the cards, what I think about these, because I'm a collector of tarot cards. I don't buy just anything, everything. It has to interest me. And I purchased it. This is not a gift. I think got it from Book Depository. This book, I don't remember what this deck, sorry, I just keep calling it the book. This cost me, I don't remember what it cost me. I'll have to check. I live in Singapore, so I'm not too sure what I paid for this. This has definitely been lying with me for about over a year, but US dollars very clearly mentions $39.99. all right, so close to $40 US dollars. So this is not a very cheap deck to own, but I love it. It's something that I wanted. I love I love my cards to speak. I like to see different versions of the Rider-Waite, and I'm a Rider-Waite reader, so I like to pick up interesting stories behind each, because they just kind of add meaning when I'm reading. You know what a Three of Pentacles is, you know what a Lover's card is, or you know what a Death card is if you're a tarot card reader, but you know, the imagery kind of grows on you. You tend to speak more, you tend to get ideas out of that card. The cards speak to me, so I just come from that space of wanting to tell you that I hope to help those of you who want to purchase this deck and you don't really know what it looks like. So I hope I've done a decent job. I'm not very technical. I just go by what I see and what kind of resonates with me, and these cards definitely did. Right, so this is what I will highly recommend you to pick up and have in your collection. All right, so till then, goodbye, and we'll meet next week where I'll probably review another deck. All right, take care. Bye.